Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First, I'd like to give all praises and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mekakadash.
Babylon's the apostles and others of great millstone of Ruel.
God.
Peace and blessings to Yakimoni who push this truth to the four corners of the earth. Right? You know, almost more or less every week it has something new. Whether you're getting digital innovation, you know, some kind of CBDC, something to do with ESO infrastructure, or just war. Because we know right now, that is the two main things that we're looking at. There have other prophecies like uproars, we see any riots and so forth. It have things like, you know, the disasters happening. But the two main things that we know that, you know, that really going on be a big thing is what? The infrastructure, which is the CBDC system, the M.O.T.E.
The New World Order.
Yeah.
Basically put it as the New World Order.
The NWO and war. Right? Because those two prophecies have to be fulfilled before the Lord returns. And this week we done seen it, done sparking up already. And the Lord is doing things in such a way. You understand? Because they say what they shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And it's the Lord is doing it in a way that alright, they go act up, they'll calm down. They'll act up, they'll calm down. And all of that does be like a form of putting people in a state that nothing will really happen, like from an extravagant perspective now, right? Yeah. To make it up, man.
You see the book of Sirach chapter 39 verse 1. You see, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. Let's go into what the brother's talking about, because you have to pay attention to what is happening every single week. There's something taking place. You know, the mindset of the people is always just, you know, they in the mind that nothing will come unto them. You understand? As the scriptures talk about, you know, they'll be like, hey, you know, since the fathers fell asleep, right? You know, we hearing about the coming of the Lord. You know, we hearing about the wars, rumors of the war. We hearing about these things. It's until something happens to people that is when they realize the severity of what it is really take place, or how serious this situation is. You know, and upon that time it will be too late, because the scriptures talk about seek the Lord while he may be found. You understand? Talk about seek the Lord before the evil days, right? But we end those evil days, right? We end those evil times, and realize that at any moment something can happen, something can take place. Not because you're on this side of the world, it means that you're exempted from, you know, danger. You know, because scriptures talk about misery shall come upon them that dwell on the earth. You know, and it didn't just say one particular part. Now we know the main part is America. You know, that main land. When scriptures talk about the land, you know, it talk about America, but all over the world it's going to have these things happening as well. You know, different things. When they talk about the famines, when famine hit a major country that is deliver food, what if it's going to happen to the rest of countries that depend on it? Famine will hit them as well. You know, your young men, like for example, why you feel, you know, countries was talking about they don't want the war to happen because they realize their sons, their daughters might get drafted for war. You know, these are the kind of things that we see the time that we in. You know, the perilous times that the scriptures mentioned. It's not the time to laugh and kicks, but that is the mindset. You see, you have to realize that, and that is the fear the Lord had to be on you too. Because the scriptures talk about, so are the days of Noah. You understand the spirit that these people go be in. There's a reason why they're so. They have to be so.
Complacent.
Yeah, they have to be complacent. They have to be like that. And that's where the fear coming to you know that, hey, you gotta turn to the Lord. You know?
That when they refer to the men in law as well, watchmen.
Watchmen, that's right.
You're a watchman, you're on a tower. You're not seeing what other people are seeing. Everybody else down there, by the store, hey, how much 2 apples for nobody, you understand? Them don't know what is going on, but you're the one who actually see what is going on. You know how to deal with it accordingly. You're not going to be thinking like them, especially if you see that the army coming closer. You understand? You know, you could see that the time coming closer that this thing's actually going to be fulfilled. And the closer they get is the more worried they're going to be, and the more precaution they're going to take. A normal watchman, however, you see the army coming, you saw when you are nobody listening. By the time the army reaches like a day when you gone, you understand? But we as watchmen, we had to keep on in that, because that what the Lord said. He said, I forget exactly what I said, what he said. I was standing on my tower and watch.
2 and 1.
Yeah. You understand? He said what? He said, stand on my tower and watch. we as watchmen have to stay here until the ship go down. You understand? We don't have the privilege to abort the village and go and try to sojourn somewhere else. We don't have that privilege. But we don't need that privilege because we understand what our mission is. We as scriptures refer to us as what? Lambs to the slaughter. You understand? We here to, whether it is we live for the Lord, or whether we die for the Lord. That is our objective.
That's it. See, that is where the hope comes in as well, because at the end of the day, we understand that what is we have to do. When we see the things that we see happening in the world, that is why we do videos to share, because these are the things that we want to see. Because we know the end sooner than later. You understand? So when we see things like what happened in Iran and Israel, these are things that we want to see, because we understand where it's heading to and where it falls into prophecy.
It means that we're going to get what we want.
Yeah.
Sooner.
For them that sigh and cry. Because we see all the abomination taking place. Like, for example, one of the places that get hit with a nuclear Tel Aviv, right? And if you go on Google and type in #1 place in the world for the homo activities, there's #1. Faith. You understand? So we seen abominable stuff being done in one of the land. You know? So see, you gotta understand that, hey, really and truly, we should talk about this in our rest. For we are not continuing to be here, but we seek one to come. Right? And in order to get that kingdom to come, you have to see our kingdom fall. In order for our kingdom to rise, that kingdom has to overtake the previous kingdom. And there are signs, like, for example, America celebrate 250 years, 250 years in military and so forth, and the military parade, and just do a little research, look up how long a kingdom has last. And you will understand America is on what they will consider borrowed time. That is why even them, their men, they say we're on borrowed time. That is why they try to strengthen the infrastructure. That's why I talk about the New World Order and so forth. Because the CBDCs and so forth fall into that NWO. It fall into all those things, right?
And now they say what they say, they know that they had but a short time. It's not something that they're assuming. They know the prophecies. And that's why they're putting things in place to prevent the prophecies. The scriptures say what? They say you could do nothing against the truth.
What for the truth, yeah?
You understand? They just playing into the Lord's hand. Like you're a master chess player and you just chucking pawns so. You ever see a man just chucking pawns and just letting them eat it up, and then when you look so, checkmate. That is what's going on with them right now, and they're not aware of it. They're playing straight into the Lord's hands, because scripture says what the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. You don't have a choice. You already don't have a choice. As much as people think that you have free will, and I just saw this idiot that saying, I want to rule my destiny, and then went and sit down in jail for. Yeah, and then when I sit down in jail for like about 10, 11 years, like you want to rule your destiny and you can't keep yourself from getting locked up. And when they get locked up, you can't get yourself out. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I just show you this concept of people think that they have free will and they can rule their life and choose their own outcomes. You understand? You see what? You say the Lord make it rich and make it poor. No matter what it is you want, unless the Lord sanctions it, it's never going to happen. Let me ask you just it said in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1, it says to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. It says a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. It says a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. And you see all them times you talk about it, breaking down, building up, wound and heal. You understand? Right now we the ones who gain healing through this word. And the ones who gain wounded is who? This place. You understand?
2/3.
Huh?
More or less 2/3.
And everything in this kingdom going down. While so from a spiritual perspective, one infrastructure being broken down while another infrastructure, which is the elect, being built up until eventually the whole thing flip completely. And then we go be on the top and they're going to be at the bottom. Right? I feel like I'll stop on that. Something at the center. And these are the kind of times that we in. And understanding the times. That way you see as the scripture say what to say. Second S.O.T.E. We talk about showing yourselves as men. Right? We had to be in a certain mind frame because we understand what's going to be taking place.
So
right?
When you say poor, with the burdens, man.
Yeah. So right now things here not as hard as certain places, but it's going to be. You understand? Like for example, crime right now ridiculous. Right now it's real people losing the jobs. Even where I was employed, I see an article talking about 2,000 people going to be unemployed worldwide. I was watching some other articles with certain chains, more unemployment. Why? Either because they can't be able to pay the financial burden, or because of AI and certain robotics. The external staff because it's cheaper to just use software and technology.
Actually, that goes into an article I see this week. We get it fair and trader, right? Because we're talking about the job. Like the job infrastructure right now is at its worst it's ever been. You know, it's been attacked, I should say, right? See if I get it quick fair.
And as more rise, it's just going to get worse. Because people going to be working. You understand? If men can't get supplies, as the brother mentioned earlier, if men can't get supplies from certain places, there are certain things you cannot be able. Like if I have a company that tied to corn, and the biggest distributor of corn, you know, not unable to distribute, that's going to affect my business.
Like for example, like the biggest distributor for goods right now is a company called BlackRock. And if you go into the depths of what BlackRock is, you understand why they buy up majority of the farmland. Why they buy up majority of the companies that making organic foods. You know? No problem. You know why they buy up majority of the farmland. Farmland. Product. Majority of the companies are making organic food. And when you go into it, like who in league with BlackRock, you will see BG there.
And specs.
Yeah, and specs. Now it's a purpose say, because they understand the distribution of food and what they want to do. Once they have that control, when you have control of a man and food, you know, you have a control of a man.
You say give me control of a nation's resources and I care nothing else.
But that is even something they used to do in the ancient days. They used to like
cut off the supplies.
Cut off the supplies of food, so and you basically once you do that, you have it under control. And like for instance, when you do that, people used to the people used to turn against like the king. You understand? They used to turn against the king. You know? Because our pro.
So we born my son today.
Yeah. So it cause things like cannibalism and things. So like for instance, it's so serious, like like that's it. Like people really watch the news. What they will focus on is like bullshit. It's like entertainment. You know, what's the thing? What do you get in Roma is wine and bread and entertainment. When thing was falling, they make them circus, get them circus. Yeah? Bread and circus, sorry, bread and circus. Get them circus so they wouldn't pay attention to what is going on. And that is what they do today. They get them stuff like TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. The celebrities will be posting like you ask somebody, you are like majority of people in China don't even know the world going into war. You understand? They don't even watch that. But remember the article here. It's the United States. So this is like from the Spectre Index is a legit site. It say the artificial intelligence job apocalypse. It's as well the brothers going into a job apocalypse. So these scriptures talk about it in Isaiah and you talk about they wouldn't be no work in Egypt. You know?
And if I come back, you know, I remember seeing an article and when there was no introducing it, you know what I was saying? It not being made to take jobs.
You're right. When they know come out. They say
not being made to take jobs.
I don't fear. It's a, remember the scripture talk about the rich set against the poor. You know, and talk about how the wicked man, how he is against the poor, you know, or seek out the life of the poor, you know. It's so you say the artificial intelligence job apocalypse may already be here, according to New York Times, as the unemployment rate for recent college graduates has jumped as companies try to replace entry-level workers with artificial intelligence.
Don't need these. I see the robots cleaning the ground, some for major cleaning things. People are leaving, you understand? You need cashiers, pickers, self-checkout lines. All these, and these people, most of these people are not skilled. Like, you don't come out, you know, 18 or 19, you want to get a little job there to pay you college. You're not no big, unless you're father. You know, like back in the past, your father's a fisherman. You fishing since you was like 10, 9, you understand? By the time you reach 18, you're like expert fisher.
By the time you reach 16, you reach 16, you're good.
You don't skill at your trade, but parents don't do that like they used to in the past. Parents don't grow up the children in their skill. So when your child reaches a certain age, they know how to go to school to learn something because they learn nothing from you. You understand?
Well, they're wrong. When you're cooking in the kitchen, have them there. You're washing, have them there. Teach them to do things in the house so that nobody can make style on them.
Yeah, but you
they're
see,
wrong.
but you see,
have your children
you see, for example, like,
teach your children how to iron, how to seam.
which is right, because the scripture talk about training a child in a way that should go to your child. But again, with the laws that they implement, right? If you could correct a child now, you could go in jail. There are instances where children get corrected and they call the police, call services on them, on the parent, and that's the power that they say like children shall rule, you know. Yeah, it's child abuse, these things, and like as you were saying, like a child today, they're not capable of surviving anything because the mental, like for example, right? You ask a child how to fish it, they can't. You ask a child how to cook, they can't. When we was young, we have to do that. You can't come in your parents' house and not know these things. To clean, wash, yeah. So that's what it be. So you understand it.
Don't know about that.
Yeah, they don't. So you understand the kind of complacency that happening in the world today. But that is because why the enemy have them the way they is. They have them right where it is. So anything. You understand the dependency, you know? Like what the brother going into. AI coming and take your job, right? You can't correct your child. The child will do these things. You yourself as a parent, you stray away from the way that it was taught. So in other words, you come dependent on who? You come dependent on the government. You come dependent on the system.
So anything they want you to do,
you
they will do it. Because you know you had to live.
You had to live. You had to buy. You had to buy.
Just because watching a video, that man saying that he said take away the tablets and the phones from your children and teach them how to dig worm in the ground and how to do certain things.
They can't do that because I hear other parents' mouth that if they take the tablet away from the child is activate
Tantrum.
But I think about
you know?
because the brother just say train a child in the way that when the child accustomed to that you bring them up in that mindset, so it's obvious after they don't get groomed. Yeah, it don't work so.
Like last night I was watching someone in the Coca tablet now. That 11-year-old boy he wanted to order something and his mother tell him, hey, don't order thing. And he went and got a gun and killed she.
Yeah, oh yes, I see that.
You already game gun show?
Yeah, I see that.
To start with, how you can order in the first place? Why you access that gun?
Privilege.
You understand what I'm saying?
And he killed his mother and he went and ordered it.
That's the parent fault.
Privilege.
That is the parent fault. So you gotta understand right now with the things that are going on come into this place. The men of the Lord, even though we might have issues because remember we didn't grow up in righteousness. We didn't start off knowing about certain things or being able to abstain from certain things, but we pursue righteous after the scriptures talk about. So when these times do come, we will be able to deal with it much better than these other people. Not only from rehearsement, but also from the Lord being with us. Because that was what the Lord said. He said in that time, Michael the Prince shall stand for the people. You understand?
Right. This second Ezra 14 and verse, I'll start from 13, right?
Yeah.
He said, now therefore set thy house in order. Huh? Before? It was going into the world divided in 12 parts. Right, verse 13. So now therefore set thy house in order.
And if I can say all these things is warnings. when you read the scriptures, they say what? They say all things were written aforetime, were written for our learning. These things is not Harry Potter stories that just sound good enough. These things are warnings so that when that time come, even said that is in John 16, it say all these things I've told you are for that you would not be offended. You understand? These warnings is so that when these times do come, you have a clear idea of what to do and how to go about it.
There's a reason why you just get warning for it. If a TV go and spoil and it will show a sign, you know, you will tell you something on the thing, everything.
Or you get like a little glitch, you know, something in the show,
Some part of the screen go malfunction.
You understand? So all that will show you that, hey, get yourself ready.
Continue? It's a 2 Ezra 14 and verse 13. Now set thy house in order and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble and now renounce corruption.
And all that is what we're doing right now. Yeah, so he's setting the house in order, approving the people, all these different things, because that's what the Lord instructed us to do. That is what a good and faithful servant is, you understand? One is listen and follow instructions. That's why they say what? They say rebellion is actually sin and witchcraft. One thing the Lord don't like is a hardened person. Neither me. You understand? The Lord don't like a hardened person, like people who doesn't listen. Go ahead.
Yeah. He said, let go of the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off the weak nature.
He said what? Put off the weak nature and cast away the burdens of man. That way he's always going to tell him, use the world as not abuse it. We're not trying to become millionaires out here. Any brother trying to do that, something is wrong with it. Yes, we need money. We need money to survive. We have things to do to function as society. But we're not trying to have a 100,000 K.
I'm trying to be like these coons.
Huh?
Them coons and them.
Yeah. You understand? That's the mission out here.
As G get money, what for like?
Making below your shoes and shit. You understand? Do the fat joke. Good.
He said verse 15, he says, set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times.
From these times. Because the times we live in, and talk about things outside like Galatians or Ephesians, they say this present evil world. And even back then, you understand, he was referring to this present evil world. So imagine now. Imagine now as evils. If a man had to go back in the past, he might have found back then, you know, when these things were written, it wasn't even so bad compared to now. You could have still look at a man and know he was a man. You understand? Even though you might have way go do some kind of shit, but you could have still know. Right now, you could scrap down a man and still not know he's a man because everything changed up. You can't even tell the difference from it are men with men. Months.
Months? Yes.
Yeah, that's how I say that.
Yeah.
I didn't say it. Marion, I remember watching that video.
A man brother call a man and say they share your husband. Yeah. How long will you say that? 10 years and then the husband hasn't come and the husband hasn't married ceremony, so you know they're being intimate.
Yeah, like
the man said, well, a couple of years ago, Sherry was Jerry or some shit. Him what? Yeah, that's my brother him.
But it was a
It was a
comedy.
joke. Yeah, it was a joke. It wasn't serious,
but it goes to show the level of.
As the saying does go, all
I saw a video. I saw a video the other day. Right.
I was something because the reason when you hear the video, the reason why the man was in doubt is because he might know these kind of things just happen.
Yeah. You don't want to believe that the jamming a man for so long. Yeah. I literally see a man quarrel with a man. You understand? Why did you tell me you were a man? What do you mean? I'm a woman. But you look like you see me, I'm a woman. And you looking at the individual, you can't tell. You understand? I say compared to how things is now. Even though Paul and them used to see some real out of time and annoying shit is going on back then. When you look at the situation now,
10 times worse now.
Because he so had time to
perfect the craft.
Yeah. Especially with these miracles, technology and so forth. Right now, you some those called what the mother of talent, mystery Babylon, so forth and so forth. Why? Because they have everything down packed right now. certain things you look at, you can't, especially how AI now becoming more rampant and more advanced. Sometimes you can't even tell what is what anymore. You understand?
You
Like,
wanted was Isaiah 46 and 8 you wanted?
Isaiah 46.
Yeah, show yourselves, man. Was that you wanted?
No.
No, I'll go down in the 49.
Yeah, go on the 14 a little bit.
Now, I know you did code the thing now, but it's 9 and getting it in 14. Yeah. Right. So I'll read over 59. The second is just 14 and 15. He said, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste to flee from these times.
Yeah, the thoughts that are heavy on the ground. To flee. You gotta realize that thoughts is what is bringing it on as well. You know, and they will have a heavier spirit. You know, highest at the contemplate at the higher questioning second, you know, so that become double-minded. You know, and instead of study your family, you know, what's going to happen to my family anytime I get into it. Them is the things that will bring it to the higher thing. Next thing you know, the hour temptation come and you're in a line to take something, so you want to stay with your family. You know? You need to make sure you provide for them. You understand? Everything here is temporary and there's something you have to pay into your mind. Everything here temporary, you temporary. You understand?
I tell somebody there, say, permanent. I said nothing is permanent.
and now people feel and people are sure about the work you do. Time of the job, and what happened with them? Thought they was permanent. They didn't take the job and what happened to them. They also give up a whole permanent job. Now we know later on they get to sue the company because it was unethical. So they went. No, we never really had the extent of that. To like the fact where that was more to like them other major countries.
Like I was telling Ag that one in co-workers he passed was when last week or week before. Yeah, because since he had take the juice, you know, he fall sick. Yeah, he wasn't functionable now, right? And I believe like he lungs collapsed, so wherever the case is.
You see the degradation happening slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely.
And these are the things that happen up on the
Right.
so yeah, really and truly, there is power with the mortal too.
Verse 16, he said, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen
You see, that
happen shall be done thereafter.
Thou hast seen, you know, thou hast seen. Yeah, like them, they see some evils. But they tell them, hey, well, to come, it's going to be worse than what you see.
I feel 9/11, man, them thing was
Them evils,
bad.
you know, it's not evil in like,
Yeah.
like how it is going to be in the future. Like when
I
he's
was just saying the second office,
Huh? Second,
total 16 and 21.
16 and 21.
yeah, that when he say what? That when he say, woe is me. He say that I think more than
Who
once.
shall deliver me in those days?
Yeah, he said that more than once because really and truly. I think around that same place we're going to be going now. And at some point, go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 21.
21.
Yeah.
16, which one of it? Which one is something? 16. 8 go down. Start from 8 and go down.
Start from it.
Probably go and go down in there.
Yes, sir. Before you go to that, let me ask you something. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 11. And you know what? I'm start from verse 20, verse 30. Right? You see, like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud. And like as a spy watcheth he for thy fall. You understand? So, you see, verse 31 say, for he lied and wait and turneth good into evil, and in things worthy praise will lay blame upon thee. Right? And then what? That is the man that you dealing with. A man will do what? That will turn the good into evil. Right? And I would say, and in things worthy praise will they blame upon it. So things that they do, you know, they just work. You understand? What they do, they will switch it.
No, like for a more common example.
Yes.
You know, like in Justice League and thing and whatever, like that episodes where They say, yeah, well, let's save in the world, but watch how much devastation all them causing. You understand? Watch how much buildings all them mash up. Every time something happens, we have to spend billions to build back the city. And it's like that, that's what the scripture is saying. So, in times when you're supposed to praise and say, good job, man. They say, yeah, you do that good enough, but watch what else you do. You waste this to do that, and you could have do this. So, you understand? So, it's like, so then what do you really want? You know, this kind of.
So they say, and in things, word you praise will leave blame upon you. They say, of a spark, a fire, a heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man laid wait for blood. Right? Verse 33, and this really was the point. It says, take heed of a mischievous man, for he worketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual blood. And that is what they do, take heed of a mischievous man. So the only things that are happening now, we know the mischievous man that we're fighting against. You know that we're dealing with. You know, we know what Esau is. That mischievous man. Right? So we have to take heed to what is he doing, what is he going to bring. You know? The things that he will set up like for snares and so forth. Right? All these things that he bringing out. You feel he bring forth the AI because he want to help the world? No. It's a purpose he's doing it for. That's why it say even if you do it good, right? In the latter end, he will show you evil. Right?
Yeah, he will show you goodness in that time.
That's the kind of man we're dealing with. So that's why it say take heed of a mischievous man, for he worketh wickedness. You understand? And that is what a mischievous man will do. He will do what? He will work wickedness. He's not going to get no good from a wicked man. You understand? He's not going to get that. It's like okay, if you know a man committing this sin over and over and over, you expect him just to change also? The scripture talk about this man he's a covenant breaker. You know?
So look at what going for the as the brothers were saying the juice. Yeah, they declare, yeah. First 3 days, yeah, everybody has to get this okay, and then after that, yeah, but you can still get sick, you know.
I remember
You can still get sick.
I remember seeing I remember seeing where's Fauci, was he name?
Yeah,
No, not Fauci, but the guy who was I don't remember who was the guy.
One.
Excellent.
Yeah, well,
But for the juice
he's the
now,
one looking.
he's the one, right.
Fauci is the juice one.
I remember people was, after the whole thing burst on the realization, I see somebody put a compilation of videos together and he was doing videos and I see him say, this thing is 100% effective.
Yeah.
Next video. 90% effective. And then it started to go down to the point where like, I think it reached all the way to 50. And it was like, it's effective enough. I like it, people eat up that.
Yeah, because in the beginning they come out and say, yeah, but this road. Then all the way after they say, hey, you still get sick. And now they say, hey, if you take it, you go there.
Right.
You understand? So he really don't do nothing with the intent of good. Because even before this whole situation, one of the main slogans also, maintain humanity under 500 million, that's the #1 commandment. You understand?
Like I said, one of the reasons why they do that too is because why? Remember, if it is a tell you, like people who take it, I'll just watch them like, so if you take it and you're good, why you worry about me? That's why they used to still push that you can still get sick. So that the others around you who ain't take it, you could look at them like if them is a problem.
Ostracize,
to try to pressure them to do it too. So it was like a kind of mental game that was playing also.
Yeah, and then well, I think it was what, 2016, right? That seems to be, but yeah. Earlier in the 2000, Gates say, oh, if we do well in Medicare, we could increase the whole population by how much of a percent. Yeah, but if you do good in Medicare, I'm not supposed to increase population because people will live longer as well. You understand? So that means the whole plan is to advertise it as something good, but have it work in reverse. Because you can't tell me you making astronomical advancement in medical care, but more people die. How that make sense?
You know these comedians?
Come like I gain here.
Snap finger boss with the stones.
Thanos.
Yeah, I see. He trying to.
Because it come like I gave you a whole chicken to eat, you know, but the more of the chicken you eat, the more hungry you get. You understand? I know it's been on that. I said, but yeah, you got a whole chicken, but you go break that gas, you go feel good. By the time you done it, you can have about a fucking chicken run.
That's what you do it to the natives.
Yeah.
Smallpox.
Chickenpox not deadly.
First time. That's one, right?
Yeah.
So this was an article for this week. This was like the 12th, which was like what, 3 days ago, right? It said
So
just
was-
an 3 days ago.
It's Tuesday, yeah.
It said just an annual Bilderberg meeting commences at Grand Hotel in Stockholm, Sweden. Right? Now when you look up what they're going to talk about in this annual meeting, right? It says Stockholm, 12 June 2025. The 71st Bilderberg meeting will take place from 12 to the 15th.
And whenever you get certain names, you know nothing to come out.
Yeah, they are like Bilderberg. These yeah. It's as ever, it is a diverse group of political leaders and experts from industry, finance, academia, and the media have been invited. The list of participants is available on Bilderberg meetings, right?
So wait, why does the government have to attend a wealthy family's meeting? That there is no flags to nobody. Like what?
Family are private corporation.
Yeah, private
because
corporation,
they're not
yeah.
owned by any public entity. That is a private.
No, I say, but is a wealthy family own it?
Yeah, it's a wealthy family, but they own privately. Government is public, not private.
No, I say, so
it come
why
like-
does a government, why government officials have to meet? You
So
understand?
they come like McDonald's keeping a meeting, but Trump had it.
You understand what I'm saying?
McDonald's is a privately owned company. Why the hell the government, the heads of state and thing have to be in a meeting? No. But we all know these people is the ones who own the government. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how back and say the police is answer to the COP. The COP is answer to the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister is answer to a man in Westmore.
Yeah.
And I hear that I was weak.
It's the topic of discussion this year are transatlantic relationship, Ukraine, US economy, Europe. Why would the US economy be in that conversation for? They realize and that's the next thing too, the economy is failing. But the reason why the US economy will be conversation is because of what they're going to bring next. And you have to ask yourself if you don't know what it is they're going to bring next, right? Let's say Europe, the Middle East. Let's say authoritarian access, right? Let's say defense, innovation, and resilience.
And
Let's say,
that's not a lot of people don't know what that is now, but authoritarian access is way. That basically tyranny.
yeah,
That's what it is, tyranny. Big words for tyranny. You understand? Them going to become like the so-called tyrants that they assassinate to bring in democracy. That's how they're going to become. You have to do this, or else. You understand? And or else do ever be for nothing good. You understand? And that's how they're going to be.
And that's where the mark are going into.
And that's what Shops was telling you. If you don't subscribe to the the digital ID or the 15-minute cities, because you say the same thing when they start talking about 15-minute cities, you'll be what? Left out of society. You understand? So that's basically what he's saying. When you bring in the authoritarian systems now, it's either you do what we say, or you'll be put out of
commission.
you know what I mean? That's like, and that's what they're practicing now, because if you watch what's going on currently, as in right now today in America, Trump saying if he's not a citizen that you're fucking born as a baby in somewhere else and come here and live 95 years, or you're visited, or you come and have a green card, once you ain't born, once you have a birth paper stay in the United States of America, you cannot buy food, medicine. It's food, medicine, and something.
Yeah,
Basically, you can't buy basic things there. Once you're not born there.
They literally say people who own visas and make sure and they're not considered
They're not considered citizens no more.
You know what I'm saying? Once you're not born there.
Now I say, even
right?
if
Once
I
you're
have a
born
visa,
there,
if I have
that
a
way you
visa
say,
and
even
I
if
go
they-
there and make a child, your child who you make on that promise
It's
is
not
still
considered
not
a
considered a
citizen.
citizen.
Oh,
Even
right.
that is doing right now.
So like I didn't know that, but I know
Yeah.
for a fact, even if you have your green paper and thing, them looking to put you on a list and send you. You understand?
And they're penalizing who, if they're not citizen and any food or anything, they're penalizing them to close them down, shut them down.
And that's what that system will become to be easier, because now you can still swipe some dollars and help somebody and nobody will know. When digitalization take place on a complete
You must see
scale,
where the money go.
you can't you buy everything control. There's how much rice you need for the week. So why does you need more than this amount of rice?
Yeah, remember at that point in time when the digitalization set in, you had the DBI. Why you spending extra money? Look, for the past 3 months, you spending 200 every fortnight. You spend 400 this week alone.
you feeding
Something
somebody.
wrong. Let me go and investigate what's going on here.
Check your vitals. You ain't getting no weight. Where our food going?
They eat it extra. You see, sugar didn't raise between the hours of 4 and 2. And that's the purpose. That is like the global monitoring system now. So they know everything. They want to be like the Most High, as the scripture says.
The song goes, they know.
Yeah, they want to be omnipotent and omnipresent.
This is
Say that's on
yeah, go ahead. So
it's a defense, innovation and resilience, AI deterrence and national security. It's a proliferation, geopolitics of energy and critical minerals, and depopulation and migration.
Depopulation. Why it is the concept? No, it have places in the world that not even populated. In the sense where, like, it doesn't say like if, like how they use the term, there are too much people in the world, right? It have places for people to live. You understand? It has so many uncharted places that people don't live down mountain.
Right now, you see, they have a fucking bird problem. That's not how they word it, but that is how I remember I got a video on this. They have a problem with the amount of people being born. The average to sustain life on Earth, or the human race for how much of a years now, they say the average is 2.1 per woman now, and right now they're way below that. And the reason is because of like jobs, diseases, and whatever, and electricity is just too expensive. You understand?
Remember,
Who make it too expensive?
it's not, and I see it, not, can they be real, right? Let us see. I remember a man who I used to watch, I used to watch, like, before I come with the truth, I used to watch the videos, Walter J. Smith. The different documentaries he used to do one thing. And he and all stated, he said, in the Vatican, the wealth that it have in that place, you know, you could buy a whole city out of that. That's the kind of money. Let's be real. When you hear certain names, the kind of money these people have, if they would put their wealth into actual development as good rulers, that's why I say when the wicked are in the world,
people mourn.
Because what the wicked doing, they heaping money that they don't even need
To
themselves, and then saying, you hungry. So I don't need to dispose more of my money to help you, you know. I need to get rid of you to fix the problem. That's how they just think. You understand? They're not trying to actually help the world. They're trying to help themselves because they ultimately know. And from the perspective of a census, it's hard to keep track of 7 billion people. You know? If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're using a quantum computer and you put little programs in people, it's kind of hard to keep track of 7-8 billion people. So it's not a matter of it have too much people. It have too much people for their preference. Yeah, they can't keep track of that.
And then again, cheeks coming up with all of that cheeks that getting money now, flaunting. You so ain't liking that.
That big man, nothing that Esau gave you is yours.
They could afford almost the same thing that Esau.
Remember, that is.
And don't let me say afford, but enjoy.
No, but that is. Remember, them is house niggers. Let's call them that. Them is house niggers. Even if you eat house and you could eat similar to what Massa eats, you will never be Massa. And Esau put it in a way that it have particular groups that you will never like. There are certain places, no matter how hard you work, you will never reach. Because there are certain people, say the earth is given in the hands of the wicked. They rule who get. You can't just become a billionaire by working hard. You're going to work and dead and never see it. You understand? Even if you be a Edomite, if it's not a special group of Edomites, you're not going and be in them categories.
Well, I mean it's like that. I mean like alright, like you say a cartel or a gang with that.
That is lunch money to them.
Yeah.
But these men getting paid because they have a job, as you asked earlier. They have a job to lead people astray. Them is like upgraded village idiots, you know. You know, like long time you wear these stupid hats and they go dance around. That is what them is. Them is an upgrade version to village idiots. They get paid good money to distract people. That's all their job is. And at any point in time, Esau wants, he could just come and do so. Just like he did it right now. And all the other people, just push your hand in your pocket. He didn't even ask you for the money back, you know. Push your hand in your pocket and take it back. So it's borrowed money. The money is not yours. So it doesn't like you can go and keep it. Them sell out to eventually get betrayed in the end and get everything they sold for. Imagine you stab your brother in the back and a man still come and take. You understand? At least fucking Judas gotta keep his silver.
It's like
Them come in and take your silver back from you.
become like Kanye West. Kanye West, he go on his latest rant, he went in big rant. Remember he tell he go talk all that talk and he say that with the money talk. And people remember Jake used to be like, them guys, your money is your money, and then they come and tell Kanye West, well, all your bank account shut down. You know, you can't touch your money. That's the power that they have.
So
That's what you do. It's not yours. It's not yours. Say with them on borrowed time, you on borrowed money. You understand?
Yeah, they're lending you money.
Yeah, lending you money.
Lending you money to floods. They're not giving you nothing. You sort of gain nobody nothing. You understand? You say what they try to complain about ungodly father. Even those of Esau, it's the same thing. Like they are not having the same problems because unless you're in a certain group, you don't own nothing.
Yeah, you might cry and I play so hard. Yeah, and those who have a job find like
Not enough.
right? And I get no promotion, no reason. I just working same level and everything around me just getting more expensive.
But the scripture talk about a man that hurt himself. You understand? More than money.
See if you be able to himself to who you be.
Yeah, who you could be good to if he hurt himself. Yeah. Who you could be good to.
Well, I looking
Yeah,
for
son.
that. There's a 2 piece of I'm looking for that. The final was that one.
I am. It's Surah 14.
That one, and I think I was wording it wrong when I was typing it, you know. And the one where it's the mother of abomination or something, so you know, that's Zephaniah or Zechariah, one in them, but it is 3 and 5. And for some reason, I can't find them too. You see that?
The one I know quote is Surah 14. Understand? Yeah, something there, but
Yeah, that was
I never saw this.
but something else. Sirach 12 and 10, he said, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
I was going to quote that same precept earlier, but I can't say something now, so I think it can still come out. You understand? Go through.
He said, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away.
Right? So no matter how, that's why you refer to them as what? A serpent. A serpent is one of the most cunning. They say one of the most subtle of all the other beasts of the field. It's one of the most cunning creatures. And you see like little movies that just make too, like Jungle Book. And you're just you're watching Mowgli and hypnotizing them. Serpents is real cunning creatures. They will lie down for a whole day.
not a day, month.
Well,
Months.
yeah, they'll take time and literally mark you until the proper time to just snatch you. And when they snatch you, they're like,
This one. You know, growing up, we watch real documentaries. Big snakes like anaconda, python and things, right? They just literally go in water.
And said,
There's smelly scent which had something might come to like drink from the river or something, right? And they would stay there. They would put themselves in a how do you say that comatose state, right? A hibernation state that they would sit right there, leave their head right there, and they would sit there. And sometimes it would take them like months to get food, right? Just know the day, waiting, and eventually that prey will come. You know, and he will come, and that snake just sat there, just waiting for however long, weeks, months, and boom, wrap him. You understand? That kind of serpent, like you saw just sat waiting. It's everything. You see, with the Lord, everything is at time. You see, that way it say, even though it's tarry, wait for it. But remember, the man that he has set up doing it, his agendas set for a time as well too. You know, that's what the Lord tell in Solomon 12, he tell you, you know, he could have bring all these things onto here, that's what we paraphrase him, but he give it time. So he give it time to a place of what? Repentance. So he could repent. Now let's say the Lord could bring everything that he wants to bring right now. He just had to, he ain't speak. He ain't speak. He just had, and boom. It talk about the angels waiting, you know. No, it's an angel.
Even the Lord.
Yeah, even the Lord, it's an angels. You know, scripture talk about it, that angels for different purposes, right? But the angels, all it is do, all they do every day is praise the Lord. You understand? It's a song, it say they're waiting to do what? To release the seal. You know, to rule the earth. They're just waiting, them just waiting, you know, them. They set Lord, because you should talk about for the spirit creative prevention, so what to do appease.
Easy, Lord.
You know? To appease him that created them. You know? That is what they're waiting for.
When you look at when you look at Esau had he had two references. Serpent and also a cunning hunter. A man who real good at hunting, you know, like a real experienced hunter, seasoned. He's a hard man to already beat, you know. Like he know what to do to catch you, you know. And he has set all the traps and just sit down. And I feel like cutting hunter worse than a fisher. You know? In terms of like patience, like they would literally take the time. Like here, what this day, I know he has come around this time. You can mark him for like a week. You understand? Like they just really take the time. Like I know, like I said, 2 examples they give you. It's 2 categories of things you don't play with. You don't play with a serpent, a big serpent. You don't play with that. And you don't play with a cunning hunter. You understand? Esau is referred to in those both allegories. They show you how dangerous it is. That way it's ready and you can't want to feel, Edomites is people too, you know, them can they are good ones. Yeah, I see him. I see him. I know some good Edomites. You know somebody who look like an Edomite. That's what going on.
Or you might just meet it might just be a Edomite that just showing that thing. Is that someone that might just be like that?
Because if the Lord show you that favor, he might be on you, but it doesn't mean he's best friends with your kind.
That's some Edomites that they will dwell around Jake for how long. They will be good with them, give them anything, might even fight for them, all kind of thing. But let the day come that they have to choose between their own and you and see what will happen. You know? That's one with these women who have interracial relationships. I didn't know my husband was like this. What do you mean? Yeah, like that. There's a reason why when I watch some of these interracial relationships, there's how the white man has had these women there's do something called race plays, right?
You know, skits that making videos and shit.
No, I don't know. Some better things.
So he go be slave master.
He go be slave
master.
Rule.
Yeah,
rule
of
after
rules, you know? Yeah, and then what you mean you don't know? What you mean like listen to some of these confessions, some of these Israelite women have when they deal with the Edomite man. They was literally a slave. You understand?
That's why they love the white man so much.
Yeah, how the white man calling you the N-word or can they calling you but again, they love that. That is what they love. Right? But it goes, the reason why I bring it up is it goes to show that, hey, they literally, they don't, it's say one nation will be set against another nation. Right? That is what it is. We go in and hate each other, no matter what it is. Jake too, you see with Jake. Jake doesn't want to play all that body with Esau, but in what really them know, they ain't no friend.
Yeah, they know the street is so different because they know that they're not the same. Even though there's talk that shit, but all people equal. Jakes don't treat Edomites as how they treat Jakes.
I can see any videos when these Edomites go in the toughest hoods.
Yeah.
And nothing, walking through nothing. But let Jake do that same video now. Yes, you
rob him, yeah, you rob him and all kind of.
You come to snitch.
Man loaded up one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just so good.
And it goes to show that the curses will be upon us forever. You know?
Right, verse 12. He says, set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
Yes, yeah, that's and you say, overthrow. That's your friend? Your friend. That's your buddy?
Flat on your back. That's what you want, flat on your back.
And they're fighting for the boat right back.
You thief your
So
wife.
even though he sort of with tears, he won the spot and we go and get.
Thief your wife,
You know?
get you demoted for more. Oh my, get you fired for more.
Yeah. He won the spot.
Men want to read your mind.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
now. Men want to be like Xavier.
Yeah, telepathic.
Go in the grocery and buy two dollars.
They won it.
Like that.
Run it.
That's what men want to be like. Men want to be like Xavier, controlling your mental thoughts and things.
He say, yes. He says, set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat.
So if the scriptures gave that warning, and you know this, when you get screwed over, it's your own fault.
He said, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therein.
You understand? Because that one does remember, you know, when it happens to them, it's like, you know, I really say, that's when Jake likes to learn, you know, when they're actually going through the bad experience, they will just be like, you know, I should have this, should have that. You understand? And the same thing in times to come. We giving them warning. The men just blowing smoke up the backside. You know? When that time, that way it say we shall go with thee. Because we have proved that the Lord is with thee. That's the mindset they're going to be in at that time. They're not in that mindset now. You see nobody come here and say, hey, don't tell me what to do. And God, no, in that time, that's when they're going to be like that. That's very promising.
And the scripture says in the days and Noah.
Since the beginning, the fathers have fallen asleep.
Sleep, yeah, the
You
Peter,
understand? The promise that I come in. That is the time they know.
Yeah.
Fathers fall asleep since the beginning. Where's the promise that they come in, right?
They will pass, they will laugh, they will scoff, they will scorn. You know?
Some might say, yeah, all you're doing a good job, but still. I say some dance and some are dancing.
Say a pipe is tune.
And you have no dance.
And just
They
like the brother
might
say-
have stopped and listen to the song, but you're dancing. Right?
And that's like the brother say. He say, everybody say time don't know what? And he said it was like that until the door closed. After the door closed and rain started to fall, that when shit, that when everybody started to realize, hey,
It was no matter.
try to get on that boat to them. You understand? That's when there is no, not before.
I'm going back to this 2nd Ezra 69.
Yeah.
2nd Ezra 16 and 8. He said, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
Right now, we have real plagues going on. Them missiles is here right now. Like you ever look at like them stories and things, like them movies where you can see like a real bad besieging taking place, like a real bad war. You see a little girl and she younger brother or a young fella and the younger sister, mommy and daddy gone, no longer around. You understand? How to sell the self, to feed this one or to feed the self. People don't understand the kind of devastating effects war is having. Especially even worse if it is a bounce of some soldiers who live, you know, who live spicy. Worse yet. Because that happened the other day with I think it was Iran. No. It was Israel. Israel had some soldiers, they had some captives. And take one of the men and put them, carry them behind the shield because it had cameras. Carry the man behind the shield and bugger the man. You understand?
Actually, there are articles stating that the IDF soldiers were asking the government to give them rights to bugger the captives, the male captives.
Remember, them is the capital for the alphabet folklore. So
You know,
they're going to employ them in that way, same way.
remember this, but it goes to show that this is the vile person, you know, the profane.
Well, if you take right, the land where the Lord says, the Holy Land, and make it the capital for abomination, I mean, that speaks for itself. We need to see much more.
I say some curse.
Anything else we see is bonus.
Yeah.
But that's extras.
And you can still understand if it is the women, you know, even in the past,
Nah,
the
you
women
can't
were
understand
destroyed.
that because at the end of the day, in the past, now that is our crime.
No, but I say
You can't, what they do it is our crime.
No,
And
but-
all the nations in the UN agree that they should be arrested.
No, but-
Nobody arrested.
the point I'm making is that in the past, right? Remember, women used to be spoilers of war.
Can't.
In the past, you go and do that, you go and besiege a place. Even the laws, if you see one among the captives, you can still understand if they was doing that to the women. you can still understand this from a logical perspective. You see all them women in that city.
But they used to kill all the meals.
That's what I'm saying. But even if you understand, but you see all them women in that city. You know, some might be wearing the little veils, you know, that place that's kind of cover up themselves and thing. You just see this man and you're like, yeah boy, yeah man, bring that one. I sound like that man yeah what? That man yeah the story. You understand? Bring them out.
It's your favorite slogan, Taste the Rainbow.
Yeah, that is show how the file them is. And that is show you how dread war is. You don't understand how dread a war is being when it actually affecting you. Even the trickle down effect is the bad, but like a direct effect it. But like yeah, sorry. Let me give some examples. You know how somebody might go through oil and they didn't understand how many things oil is affect. And if you have a shortage of oil, you have no ink, you have no printing, like no plenty stuff.
Electricity.
People don't understand like how.
Overview.
Nah, but you can read the highlights coming up. What from the top?
Like the overview.
Yeah.
First thing was coming.
Yeah.
The war has profound negative effects on food systems, leading to widespread food insecurity and malnutrition, disruptions to agricultural production, supply chains and trade, coupled with displacement and violence, create a cycle of hunger and instability.
So, food is the first problem. Once it is war on the brink, food has become a problem. Food has affect people's behaviors. That way you'll get panic buying, that way you'll get riots, that way you'll get invading one another's houses. All them different things food has affect, right?
So one, disrupted agricultural production, loss of livestock, reduced farming populations, soil contamination.
I remember, I think somebody tell me, I think in Venezuela right now, eggs. I think it's eggs they tell me about. You can't get eggs. Like, there are certain places, like, simple things like eggs.
Someone in Cuba I talking about
Tomatoes.
When I was looking like the bistro. We had a Cuban dishwasher guy and he on a video call and he in the chill. I was here, chef. So what going on? I said, you know, and we trying to tell someone, yeah, look, you have it here. I said, what is that? Yeah, no, my friend, no problem. I show my brother tomato. I said, what you mean you show your brother so all I tomatoes? So yeah, no. I said, what you mean yeah? Because I in this belief because me know over there no tomatoes because here tomatoes is
rampant.
Tomatoes is no big astonishment here, right?
I get to find out, you know, people in Cuba don't use TV.
Don't use?
Toilet paper.
You know what it is used? Gas and paper.
Gas that? No, well, in Cuba, there are cars like this. There are cars come before you born a hunter and cars your father and your mother and them parents used to know that.
I can understand all that, you know.
What we go consider antiques is their cars. For whatever reason, however the economy set up or how unstable it is, they're still living in that time. But they are the best medical care anywhere.
Jake.
They are the best
They don't have toilet paper. I remember somebody gave me a story and saying that there was in a hotel and they make a call and like, I ain't got visiting. I ain't seen no toilet paper here. They say when they leave and when they come back, they see some cassette paper on the bed. So they clean that and try to figure out what's going on. So they call and say, you ain't put a toilet paper, look, I put it on your bed. In a hotel, and that's how hard it is. You understand? That is the kind of effect.
Like you are astonished by that? You're in a tropical country and grow tomatoes. That's why I'm astonished by that. How you like toilet paper? That's toilet paper is a man-made thing. You don't want to pick that way.
No, but you don't like it's
you
something
don't have
that's
something
so...
that does naturally be there.
Yeah, I understand.
That is what astonishing me.
I understand.
But as you say, that for a hotel to be open and running and bringing as a paper too.
Like when I imagine if that is a hotel where you pay.
Yeah, you pay
so
to
imagine
stay
for a household. You probably never even see that in the life. Some people might grow old and never even see that. Like normal things that we would see on a regular basis, they don't have access to. And these are the kind of effects that waters have. And even worse. You understand?
Two, chain supply disruptions, impeded trade and movement, reduced access to markets, price volatility.
So you don't know that is
I just put what the
hyperinflation.
I with the is, like right now.
Super inflation and hyperinflation. It's one time. And you know how Trinidad is. You don't even want to be affected yet and they're raising prices. So imagine if it actually been affected.
No, that was going like when the chicken is for like 3 weeks and like it had a point in when it was before or it was after the lockdown, back, I think in the month of June. Every week chicken went up.
Yeah.
In the month of June for the first 3 weeks.
And then I'm dropping back.
So the first week of June it went up. Because when you buying chicken in that bulk now, it's case and it's parts, not whole chicken. So like chicken breast, like the most desired. So like what we do is roll. So 1 week it was we paying $30. What's it 30? We was paying $20. I no see $2, no problem. Next week next week he's saying buy. No there is again. I say how much? I'm 33. I said what? So the last week we didn't pay 30. Week after I buy 40 at least. I say nah buy no way. How to do? But we had to find other ways to stretch it, cut it different, way less, with more or something, you know what I mean? Because it was getting ridiculous.
And like I say, because how Trinidad is, even if the price was to drop, they not going to drop back their price. They just going to reap the benefits of
no, well, they had to drop it back at a point in a while after. But for a while.
That wasn't my choice. That was by
no, that was by
circumstance.
demand.
By circumstance.
Demand for the job because I talking about major institutions such as Kentucky Fried Chicken and the brand names, them start to ease up, you know. Them change the working hours to cut down demand, you know. So when they realize, wait, we have to they say no, right here going on. Call the staff, let them know, yeah, it's not 12-hour shift, 6 hours now. So when you think, alright, we running through 18 cases today, now we're going to run through 80. Need a rest for tomorrow and the afternoon, and that is how. And when like the major big boys realize, well, they get on to it, they beat me back, they say, alright, they bring it back down, and chicken breast back to regular price.
And so they reap all the benefit from that.
For a while it was going on for a good little 2-3 months for that. And I want to tell you, if the majority of food places in the country, I mean, we are real friendly, selling chicken, right? Whoever in charge of chicken, because we sure it's only one man in charge of chicken.
Whoever going running our walk, they get rid of it.
Nah, Rock is local.
No, but still.
Rock is local chicken, right? They're local. Imported chicken prices is why you talk about that different. That is why it was expensive. It says strain on humanitarian aid. Food as a weapon of war.
Strain on humanitarian aid. Grants. All these people who live on child support.
Right
and all these different grants like food cards. All
right
these
now that done away with half of what you said. Trump come in and he say what's going on for give me that back.
And some people live off of that, literally.
Yeah.
Right.
It says food as a weapon of war, deliberate targeting of food resources, denial of humanitarian access, long-term impacts, intergenerational effects, erosion of social cohesion, economic devastation. That's like how Haiti and Cuba is not economically devastated.
Generationally. So it's not to say like if you look at like that is like 60, 80, 100 years effect that them things that's happening.
Like 5 trillion down the line. Like 4, 5 trillion down the line.
You understand? And that is how terrible war is. And people don't take these things into consideration. Why? Because they're not feeling the brunt of it at that point in time. But soon they are going to feel the brunt. Because this place had to be judged. Right?
You see, verse 9, second is just 16 and 9. He said, a fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings.
Fire go forth from his wrath, and who quench it? Who? That's a question mark. Who quench it? Who going to stop that? That's a question for anybody. Because they believe is that they go do a train and pray, hold each other hand and sing We Are the World.
So I see it.
So I see. it will stop.
And in Deuteronomy, it says that no man that can dig a little, you out
Yeah,
of
my hand, yeah. And Hebrews said the word is a fearful thing to put
To the hands of the living.
But the Lord makes it you. You do.
But what's your stuff?
This is-
When you say start a republic,
What's your stuff Saul when the Lord wasn't dealing with him? What should we do? You understand? What should the extent he go?
when you're
The
ready,
same-
go ahead.
That's right. The same people he was once plaguing, he had also turned to.
Just to get some kind of ease.
Yeah.
So that's an answer because you get locked off. You don't just for a man. When you really think about it, not for street, you rather be till it's ready rent your place. Like, you know how hard it is to tee up. Like, I don't know how the material was, but
It was better.
but still, like, to rent your clothes, like, to literally be teeing up your clothes in the morning and
everything was
frustration.
better, you know.
Yeah.
Quality
Pure
of man,
cotton and
food,
yeah.
animals,
No, but
everything was of a higher quality.
I don't know what them used to be wearing to be tearing it up, but you know,
High quality
when you reach the
clothes.
point to
But them was
tearing
no
up your
frail
clothes,
people like me, you know.
I understand.
It's big, strong.
The clothes were stronger,
Fucking
them was
nobody.
stronger. So, but
You know?
you had to be frustrated to
To
tear
rep,
up your
to
clothes.
rest, right, to take off your clothes because remember back then, this was common like it was now. This was a shame. Even for a man to walk around never could have been a big shame back then. So for a man to really reach to that extent, he might have to be really heavy. You understand? He might have to be burdened. Just so you tear your clothes in the marketplace. What's going on with you? Guards. Yeah. No, it's a serious thing by long time they didn't play with nakedness and things like
When the Lord give you a bad news and you start to tear up your clothes, but you don't know.
make sure you're inside.
And it goes to the extent of how severe this too. When a man with a rippy clothes is usually a sign. They will consider, like today they will consider that a form of madness.
Yeah, but back then that was like when you're on your last.
Yeah, on the last.
What again to do?
Yeah, the seriousness.
What's
of
that?
that.
He
Yeah.
understood what situation he was in. You understand?
So what was one? You're on your last and you just don't know what to do again, right? That kind of.
It's no pressure, Nick. It's a wise man.
He say, he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?
And these people out there, they already fear for the Lord, and I just show how sottish it is. Because the time that's really hard to fear is when, they say on Daredevil, you say, how do you stop a man without fear? You have to put the fear in him. When the Lord put the fear in you, you just see the difference.
But you get someone else to take on this and your whole weekend doing your folly and you know it wrong and like you have an inside that gut feeling about something ain't right, but you're enjoying it. You jump in your car in the morning, it start and you make it back home. You lie down and you wake up in a hospital bed. That's when you go realize that's when the feathers be playing you. But it's too late.
Something that wasn't right was you.
Right? Yeah, so
Right.
Well, he say, the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. So the earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled. And the fishes thereof also, before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
So what's strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. And we already seeing them bows right now. We seeing the kind of force them bows have. You understand? One of them missiles, a whole city, a whole city. Remember that video on that where it show like one missile, like if it was a target, to lay it out in terms of America, the different states.
Yeah.
And like how one missile would impact, like it killing about 90% of each city. Like it hit one city, 90% of the people dying from just the impact alone. They used to talk about radiation, none of them things. Just the impact alone, they say about 90% of the people in that. Now you know how big them states are. Them states is not no.
And will cause the weaken infrastructures out of that region and all might get
Yeah, that's it. Just the impact alone, 90% of the people go in there. You inside to talk about the aftermath effects of it. Just the impact
so
alone.
look at one warhead, multiple warheads. So when the impact alone will be the impact of about 100, because all of them stuff up in the tip, and as every trade going, kaboom.
And that That's Satan too. I have to hit somebody.
I find you about right now, to me that place though, they might be up to date.
No, but you know what I mean?
Satan
Like,
squared, not too early, Satan squared. Yeah, that's nice. They do and small up in the corner. Satan squared, real bad now.
But they bring it up recently though.
See that I seen on about it.
When something you
Can't really hear about it now.
something America and Ukraine wanted to do, and Putin bring it out to show to remind them that this is what
That's a reminder.
I believe that is when you tell them that they was saying that he used like so much artillery and so forth, and he had also show he showed them touchy bases away because I have yet. You know?
You know, it's like you call it that man and you started baby cutlass. He said, hey, no, you're going to do Rashid in there. Lady, you know.
Sorry, man.
Do Rashid.
Do
Rashid.
And that's what the script talk about the bear. You know? That's what it is. Right? It's also Ezekiel. God and me God. You know? Again, that's the nation. You remember, Russians are different. Even though there's Edomites, there's a different set of Edomites. There's a much stronger, more resilient. That is why, like, even to live in that part of the world,
yes,
it's more hectic.
The body itself, their body itself, it will go be built different because remember it's sub-zero temperatures we're talking about for the majority of the year. They don't really thaw out, you know.
Yeah, that would be so hard, yeah. That's why even when Germany was thinking about what went on.
I think even for the Cold War, it was hard. Yeah, it was
fight over it.
Yeah, and they was getting the upper hand because them home. You understand?
Home gun.
Something I was watching recently and they said fighting home is always like that.
Well, yeah, but that's why even when it was sports, they say home and away game. When you play home, you had the crowd, you had the people that get home.
No, but now only that too. Remember when you play away, there's a number of things that that's battle now, boy. You're not accustomed, so it has some people like they're going in different countries to play, and because of the air,
the
climate and them thing,
Like for example, it's like
and like those city and you home field advantage.
It come like when a team go to play Mexico, in football. When they go to play Mexico in Mexico, they sort of stop the game sometime because
below ground,
below sea level, so you had to breathe and all these things. But even the women in Australia, they show them different log and thing. They build different, a whole different set Edomites. That is, you are the lowest of the spectrum.
We are the rich ones at low in quality. And we are the not so rich ones at high in quality.
Remember, all the Edomites had a different
characteristics.
But all the, like for example, it's a T-man.
T-man is wisdom. That was the wisdom.
You understand?
The brain of the organization.
Yeah, so all of them had a thing. The German, you know, ever watch what's the thing with Boyka?
The Russia.
Yeah,
Undisputed.
Yeah, Boyka is
You
Russia.
understand? Them men different. The man had abs. But there's referred to the Lord as a conquering lion.
The conquering lion of Judah.
Yes.
There was,
There's referred to Judah itself as a lion.
But God make that too, you know. God created a lion.
Yeah.
All the pieces are
Yeah. All animals, you know.
Yes. I like what I say about the conquering lion of Judah. Understand? But I love lions too. But that's how we hold this lip now. Yeah, it's a good animal, but if you treat it bad, it'll treat you bad now.
If you treat a lion good, you're still
bad, yeah?
Lion?
A lion is unfriendly beast.
Yeah, because they're made to be that way.
My late husband did like them too. Used to buy the portrait and stick it up in home in the house.
Probably in his spirit.
Yeah.
It's a reference why, you know, even on this side, you see people had like it as a land. So go ahead. No, we was, yeah, man. Same thing.
So go Boyka.
Boyka, right,
Russia.
T-man, right, Germany.
Yeah, Germany.
That wisdom. That is why when that somebody brightest minds come from there, Nikola Tesla and all of them.
But I was reading a video and I mentioned that, and I bring out the over there 1, 8 or 9, right? But what I didn't remember, because I know one of the wars was for them. It was 1 or 2. It's 2 and World War 2 was for Germany because they wanted to.
1 and 2.
One and two,
It
one and
started
two.
1 and continuing 2.
Right, because 2 was when they dropped the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right?
No, that was
But that had nothing to do with 2.
that you talking
Yeah,
about
atomic
something
bomb.
else. You're talking about something.
Because that bit after they did done take the thing and them take a
Two
portion and Russia take a
was
portion.
a headline.
Right, but it had different countries that started the join. It started off with Germany. I think it was Japan who did join Germany, and somebody else that joined
Right, because I know-
the Soviet Union.
And then it got to be 2 because
That's it.
with the atomic bomb, they did already have a portion of the scientists not working for them to make the Oppenheimer is a German word, it's simple. So,
I forget exactly which countries are joining in World War II, but I know another country that had signed with Germany.
But World War One is Germany for the 2.
Yeah.
right.
But mainly it was Germany, Austria, and them places. And
Right, yeah. Well,
Hungary.
Austria is it all lies in one area.
then there was against France and them.
Yeah.
So that basically happened in
There
Europe.
was against the
The Soviet Union wasn't one.
Yeah,
Two
so
is when the others started joining. I forget which nations are joining in part 2, but I know.
I know after one, some that get some on them, and the rest loot at them. They had more scientists going Russia than America.
That was I was supposed to do a video on that same
Because in 2, it's where they dropped the bomb on
Paper
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
So-
that accurate, so that mean, like Oppenheimer is actually one. That mean, at the end of 1, he probably sided with America and said, "Oh, going on, take care, man," because that was his offer there.
No, I think it dropped. I think it dropped wasn't after. When he dropped,
The atomic bomb.
that was after World War II, I believe.
Yeah. I always thought that was World War II. To me, that don't ended World War II.
No,
War II
when they
ended
dropped the
when
bomb was on
America
Japan.
Right.
That conflict was nothing to do with Germany here.
That don't do with World War II.
No.
When World War II ended is when America did join. Because it was the Soviet Union and then America did also come to join in, and then when America touched down.
Luckily, South.
So they lost because America come.
All right,
No,
yes. Slovakia. That was a mix up because the Pearl Harbor thing was when they was fighting Japan. And they
Yeah.
blow up the fucking harbor.
Yeah. So you're technically right. That happened around the World War II.
I already
At
can't
end.
but it was after World War II.
No, but no,
after
it technically ended the war, as I say, correct. It
But
technically
when they
ended
dropped
the war.
that bomb, everybody was like, what?
Yeah, that was it.
That was the head turn on
Yeah,
the eyebrow raise on and I was like, what?
Because he could
Oi. Yeah. No, when they dropped that one, everybody just went back and said, they couldn't shut that. They couldn't. But now according to Joel 3, you know what I mean? Like the weak say I am strong. So all the weak nations now, they form in their alliances, you know what I mean, to gain that strength to say, you know what? All they do all there, and all they go just get consequences. We are talking now. It are no rock back and no. All they bad and we bad too. You go see who bad.
balls big right now.
You understand? You go see who really had the biggest thing.
So World War II.
Right.
Both things happened in 1945. That going to the prophecy in Revelation, right? But when the victory over that in Europe, right?
Yeah.
That happened in May. Nagasaki happened in August.
I'm saying I know it had something to do around somewhere with World War II because that's why I think, well, the atomic bomb was what in World War II. So in my video, I was like, I don't really remember, but I believe the first World War was for the scientists. Because in 2 is when I know the bomb dropped. So that means that somebody had to acquire the scientists from somewhere.
It's after one of the wars. If I'm not mistaken, it was after the second is when they take the scientists. If I'm not mistaken. After the can't remember that is paper clip.
After World War II.
It's when they take the scientists.
It's when they take the scientists.
And that is when the Soviet Union now went against America. They started thing now. But they call it Operation Paperclip. I was supposed to do a video on that.
But
take the Germans.
But for like for example, right? After World War II, they went and take all the technology that they had. Like I remember, even back in those days, those building like the Germans, their aircraft was way beyond.
Yeah.
You remember what one people come against Germany? What my countries come against Germany? They show the power of that team, man.
If it was,
I say that
look at America, they would not lost.
I just say you could destroy the wise man with that team, man. And that's how wise, them Germans. They talk about we'll talk about German cars.
Yeah.
It'd be better than cars that make anywhere else.
Yeah,
you know?
Better than European.
Yeah.
Even Japanese and all something.
Yeah.
No, in terms of durability and strength, yeah. But when it comes to innovation and speed, I feel like it'll be Japan and China.
No, but
Not
you
in
see,
that aspect.
But you see durability like watch this car boy. Well, now everything's shaken down because I think it's only three car companies own all the car companies.
Yeah, by over.
So you know it's not as before. But the Germans is who? BMW is German. You understand? BMW and for sure
Volkswagen.
Volkswagen. Right? That is a strong one.
You know, them two cars, that's called, remember the
VW is
both of them, yeah, because I think the BMW is more higher end than the Volkswagen.
And it's the way.
Two of them,
It's called Volkswagen, the poor man Porsche.
a man had a partner, a man had a, he said when you drive that, like you're driving fast.
I hear somebody say that it's not built for like, when I say tropical rain now.
Yeah, the climate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that because it had Volkswagen here for years.
But what I would say is that there's a high maintenance car. It's down here because you know
Because
it
German,
shouldn't,
yeah.
but I know I feel like yard one oh god, the one everybody does have like the Volkswagen, oh gosh.
I know you're talking about.
Jetta. And the water pump god, you know how much a water pump?
4,000.
Nah, 5. It's
But it's good car.
$5,000 $50 for a water pump for a Volkswagen. Well, for that Volkswagen.
I talk about the German, but again, like just the man, but that's it. Just different sects are you so nonetheless.
Different tribes,
Different
just like in
Different abilities.
in Israel, it are different tribes that the two kingdoms, the southern and the northern, and so on and so forth. And every tribe had a characteristic. Like Reuben is the experts in war. Is Naphtali is the readers. Well, yeah, Naphtali is the readers. Are the stars? Is Naphtali, yeah?
No, it's not like
Oh,
Mexico.
Honest.
It's not the native tribes and them who does read the stars.
I'm on a side.
Right, Naphtali and Manasseh, right? You understand? But every tribe had their attribute, they had a blessing. You know, Judah is rulership and all them things and whatever and so on. You understand? So, in Edom, they are the ones who will be ruling, they are the ones that be ruling,
It's Issachar.
the rich ones.
Issachar.
Issachar is the one with the stars,
Issachar
eh?
is the one that's in Mexico. Issachar.
Right.
It's the one who could attack Australia.
Yeah, reading the stars. The ones who want stars should reading the stars.
And it's in Hebrew is Manasseh?
Huh?
No, Manasseh.
No, Manasseh is the brother of
Is the brother of
yeah.
Cuban. Sorry, we were talking about them earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, so like about it. The Shekai is thing.
They call the Mayans also. Them good
Yeah,
at
I know the
stuff.
Mayans is Mexico. I remember because M&M now, man. I remember. Mayan, Mexico.
Yeah.
I still remember right now.
Trying to do something quick.
Go drop us or continue?
That's what I'm going to do quick. Do I have it here, man? Shit. I think I have it on my next device. But just basically, I have it in my bag now. But just basically going into the tribes I used to. But
So go ahead. Second is just 16 and verse 13.
I know.
He said, for strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shoot are sharp.
like, so this is like, even if the reference to it, people might read and really think it's a bow, but it's just, like, you know, watch how they shoot off a nuke missile, it's like how a man, a archer go shoot off a bow. You know?
Yeah, the concept of it is the archer.
Yeah.
To go like a rainbow
Not like
finish,
Apollo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apollo, that's the big bow.
Yeah, the big bow and shoot it from one side.
That
Yeah.
one main point of propulsion,
Yeah.
and from there is devastation. That's all it is. You understand?
Right.
Right? Yeah, he said, his arrows that he shoot are sharp and shall not miss
Can.
when they begin to be shot into the ends of the earth.
You understand?
So how a normal archer go shoot a bow to the ends
No, I
of
say
the
it's not Apollo. It's not like some godly person
Yeah.
just take a normal arrow and
And shooting
And
it.
shooting it.
Yeah.
no, it's an allegory. You understand? Those arrows, the bow represents those missile silos on them. The archers is who? The ones who in control of it. You understand? And the arrow itself is those ICBMs, those missiles you see being shot. I say what being shot to the ends of the earth. You could shoot an ICBM to any point in the earth today. You understand?
On one end.
They make it that way for a reason. Because I prophecy. Right? But
Right? He said, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
and that's also in Zechariah. In Zechariah give you a good example of those plagues. They say what your eye shall melt away in your eyes, and your tongue shall melt away in your mouth. those people don't understand that those missiles are considered a plague. One of the plagues of the Lord. It's one of the biggest plagues that will not take place. You understand? Among the other things like teeth of wild beasts, famines, all these different things. But that particular plague right now, it have people casualties of war. Feeling that plague right now. You understand? Even if they feel it directly and die, they get some kind of impact from it.
Right. He said, verse 15, the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth.
So it wouldn't be combined to the foundations of the earth. You understand? So that goes to the extent because I don't know if you'll ever hear about something called the Samson option. The Samson option is basically something them small hearts have, right? It's a last resort basically. It's like if I going down, everybody going down with me. So basically when Samson thing with the pillars and the pillars and everybody, that is basically it then. So that is what the name of the Samson option now.
Should I call it the should I call it the predator?
Now you see, but there's one of the reference things to the Bible, like when they watch
them claim to
yeah, they claim to
so
call it any predator ain't gonna really be you know?
No, but I got that aspect now. And the predator lost.
Yeah, but the Samson option is a more is a very spiritual name because that's the story of Samson. And he bring on the pillars and that's basically what the references to. Like majority of the operations they're doing, right? They're doing it have like a biblical name to it and it references a story in the Bible. Right? That's a reason why they name it that. So there's Samson option is basically going into the fact that if they really come to get overpowered here, like what Nathaniel you say this week, he say if I go and fall, he say if we go and fall, which is not going to happen, he say everybody, majority of the countries around the world going to fall with him. So it's like that, and that is where the Samson option come in. You understand? And we know they're going to lose the war. They're going to lose it. That prophecy that written in the Bible. Right? That is so.
But they
right?
wouldn't have the satisfaction.
But that go back to what we were saying.
Yeah.
When they're going to lose it, they're going to. If I can't have that kingdom, nobody can have it.
And press that red button.
Somebody's going to have it. It's just not them.
Yeah, somebody going to have it, and it's just not them. You know, they would be in the kingdom to come, but for a while. But they have work to do. You know, they have work to do.
Or is it compensation?
Yeah.
Severe compensation.
Severe compensation.
So we're in the carter, right?
Yeah, or they go start to believe in the Sabbath and that.
Or they'll be hoping.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
That might keep the Sabbath better than me that time.
They're so prideful right now. Their belief is that the Messiah, he actually in hell, in assessment, basically in shit now. Right?
Yeah.
That is their belief, right? In that day, the Lord will bring back up that wall of sin. Yeah.
Remember the scriptures say, you'll be judged by every idle word that come out of your mouth.
Now, shall I will bring back up that statement? You go say, do the breakdown what they were saying about me?
You better break down that.
Give me that breakdown there.
Yeah,
I got some nuggets.
why are they in the suspect working?
Yeah.
You
You say, give me that breakdown. Where I was? Tell me where I was. And where? Yeah, you bring my guy, man. I tell you.
No gloves for you, brethren. No gloves.
Let's talk about put back up the wall for something, man. Oh, yeah, all that's some stuff to do. All that's some stuff to do.
They like to tell you hard labor.
I like
marble. I don't know how to change at that time, man. I like marble now.
Yeah.
And marble hard to break.
Yeah.
marble is work to break, you know.
Yeah, you say tiptoeing on the marble floors. Yeah, it's a reason why.
You don't cut that by hand. That can't be cut by hand. Do I mash up the marble or mash up the
I see a little pickaxe.
pickaxe?
Pickaxe, you don't want to break that marble.
That busting pickaxe.
I remember you could always
It's
grind marble and do
machinery.
some different things with it. I want to give you something that would just be different.
Nah, you will get them.
You just
I
want
would
them to
them
suffer.
use a hand. Try to break the tile.
I think the marble is because it was a hydro, so
Yeah,
the water, so
you can't.
because the water shooting so at so much high pressure, it's more precise than with a blade. Because a blade could still wobble or burst
and crack it.
crack it,
Yeah.
damage the person using it. So they say they use a hydro, so I think.
Yeah, man.
But it's a high quality stone, it's a really high quality stone, no joke.
Yeah, we know IUIC.
Oh.
IUIC breakdown right now is that the 7 heads going on against America, but America coming on, even though they were hurt, they come back and say, yeah, That all they got. That was.
In the
that
movies,
was,
like,
that,
in the
yeah,
movie.
that was near teaching. Yeah, that's all you got. And they will come back to dominate. So basically, I was teaching the whole meal back again.
Double whammy.
Yeah, you watch me. Hey, don't let us go ahead. Where those.
You say,
And they what us bother me about him, You see, I don't go on the man page and watch it. I don't go on them page and look for no video, right? See when that elder do a breakdown about it, and you know them elders and them like seeing them will play clips for you to and pull it back about 6 times to make sure you get the them in the show. And watch well, the elders will admit these fellas is learned men. This man know the truth, and when he do his stupid breakdowns, they're like he coercing the truth and corrupting. You can hear it in the tone and what the words he using and what he said that are no better, you know. But for some reason, days where he choose.
And that's why it's
you just hear it in him that he know better.
That's why it's a double-minded man unstable in all his ways.
Yeah, yes, so he can tell you take that first because he know better. He just hear it that he know better.
Right?
Buying for money, that's not going on. They know what they're doing is wrong, but you see, same thing as
that one has killed me with him. If I got by you, know better.
No, but
you yourself, for a fact, know better.
These men, they're going in a slumber state in the sense where, say, with a little phone on the hands, for you to sleep. He get comfortable where he is, and he hoping that here we're going on. Let me come back on the next cycle. You understand? I go, right now, when the promise of is coming, that is what he open for right now. He don't want to be around. He want to be comfortable and come back on the next cycle.
Yeah, why enjoy it on both sides? Why enjoy it here?
Exactly.
No, he will come back with a mark of shame because at the end of the day, remember, it's not his soul alone he paying for it. He got to pay for everybody on that.
Yeah,
day.
but even though if you come back with a mark of shame,
He will
that
still
is
be
it.
wealth. He will still be of his
He will still be
yeah, so
wealth.
men who are understanding, they
you know
just
what?
try to make best at everything for
The
themselves.
lower class royalty, you will be like
He wouldn't care. He wouldn't care.
you will be like the redneck side shell.
No, but I say,
But you wouldn't care.
if he fall among the stars, he go fall on the clouds.
No, I say
sometimes.
Israel, all of Israel gonna be wealthy.
Yeah.
Just the elect gonna be the better off. So he wouldn't care. He wouldn't jealous nobody. Huh? No, I say when all of Israel in the kingdom, all of us going to have wealth.
Yeah.
The elect will have more, but all of us going to have wealth. And I know we're not jealous you. So he wouldn't care. He might feel bad. Feel bad about it, but he wouldn't
Before
care.
that, the Lord, yeah, remember, even before we're in the kingdom,
But I was saying,
the Lord will put back that in the mind to remember the things that they do, the things that they teach and so forth. So they're going to feel that. But in the kingdom, remember, the Lord will be in us. The new covenant, so they wouldn't think about it there. Like that, for example, so you feel that jealousy.
I say, so he opened that time will come, he will just go and...
I say you enjoy it on both sides. Enjoy
No, but
it.
he would not. Yeah, remember the pain that going to affect them here. And
Yeah.
I still remember Jake had to go through what? It's like the wilderness. Don't forget that.
So like Jacob trouble. Jacob trouble is start at the day.
Well, think it for now.
Huh?
You think it for now, as in now you can enjoy it now because
He could still go in a dealership and buy a car, go in the grocery, buy expensive water, expensive wine. But then as Jacob trouble hit and they realize, well, there's more salt than...
Right.
But then,
now, men know how to work with car parts and that's a strong delusion. The Lord put them in that state of comfort where you don't feel like you don't have to worry about nothing. You understand? Don't worry yourself, be good. Even if things get hard, you still can make that unity and you just still be comfortable, you know? Like that the mindset. That's why men do these things, you know. They don't believe in security, the Lord. So somebody has to protect them. And they believe after all the stories, right? After all the stories you read with this man backstabbing, this man is using a knife to backstab you. He's shooting in the back. He's using a knife. A knife still not so bad. Then he's so backstabbing you, it's bullet. All these stories, you can read the Maccabees, you can go to secular history, you can look at things like the Native Indians, and they used to still making our covenant with the devil. So when that time comes, what they get, right?
say verse 16. He said, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again.
Shall not return, it's not going to stop. Right?
Woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days?
And he understood it because he was seeing visions. he understood what it is he was seeing. He couldn't understand plenty of them in the sense of like what was taking place, but he could see that there was destruction. And he could see the damage that was being done. So he was worried even for himself in that time.
Right? He said the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
And people don't understand what serious a famine is. The scriptures say what it's better to they that kill with the sword is better than they that kill with famine. Like people don't understand. Like some people who went through, like I was talking to a guy about me, and he 80 something, so he around a while. He was telling me in times of like war, I think World War II was around for. And he was telling me that like them had the ration card system here too. I was interested by the story. The guy didn't know, like I never hear somebody talk about the ration card system here. Yeah, I never hear somebody actually talk, but he remember it like it was yesterday. That's how he explained it to me. He's telling the ration card story, and you're getting a penny, and you're getting to buy a hops per person for the day, like a hops bread per person for the day. Like he actually lived through the ration. People in this time, they don't know what ration is. If they can't work and get it, they bend the back to get in that aspect, they bend the back to get or they steal it. But they can still access it. They don't know what it's like to have no access to these things. And that's what war is caused. War is caused no access to food at all. Even if you have money, you can't get it. Even if you're willing to open your body up, you can't get it. They don't know what I like. They don't know what I like. And now I Lord say what? They say my servant shall eat, but he shall be hungry.
So, okay. Say, he said, verse 18, he said, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
So the beginning, just the beginning. Just the beginning. The beginning of what? Sorrows. What sorrows? The sorrows something like nice thing. Sorrows sound like something nice thing. Like pain, affliction, like crying. You know? When you watch some of these videos that they see with war, see people and them. And that is why people rejoice and see them small as get bombs on them. You understand what I'm saying? They rejoice in seeing it. Right?
Right now you're saying you drop bombs on it.
Yeah.
You drop bombs on it. Yeah.
But these are the things that the Lord tell us about. You know, the sorrows, the beginning of sorrows. Morning. Right? The sorrows, the beginning of sorrows. These are the things that the Lord wants us about. Right.
Yeah, he said, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear.
Yes, so the beginning of wars, the power shall stand in fear. You know, when Iran didn't know what hit them the first time now. Israeli government official, one in the army, he come to do a video before he leave because majority of them leave the country now. So before he leave, the first day he in a bunker. And now see he going on a site here. I'm not reading any news.
Convening parliament from our
yeah, but he not going on, he not from the bunker to a site. He going to a site now. The first site more safe location as well. It's how he going and thing. But the government, the army official now, he giving an interview to the news now. But what he have, he's talking about now. What he have now? He shaking so. Fear come to them now because they realize, because plenty people thought that Iran wasn't going to attack them. People thought that let's go on like all the years before. Yeah. No, it reminds at times where they attack them and Iran never respond.
But yeah.
And that go back now, I wanted to bring yourself here. Remember this right here, quick. Right?
Yeah,
Morning. Psalm chapter 55, verse 20, he says, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Yeah. He had broken his covenant. And we go to like covenant breakers and so forth. That's what we need him with. I'll see if I get a list for there of the things when it comes to nuclear. So a country that making nuclear, they're supposed to have like the rest of, like other countries come and check out this stuff. Iran agreed to everything.
Like a showcase.
Not a showcase. They have to come and check it out. Make sure it's safe. Make sure it's this. Make sure you do the right thing. Right? You gotta sign a paper. You gotta tell them how much nukes you have. Iran agreed to all. You know who never agreed to all?
Who else?
You know who never make anybody come and check the nukes? You know who never tell the world how much they have?
And still making more.
And still making more. But so-called the threat to the world is Iran.
Savages.
You know? That's why it say the words of his mouth was smoother than butter. Yeah. We are trying to save the world from nuclear. No, they cause a nuclear war. And that's what they want. Because what they want that great reset. You know? Yeah. You know, when you was talking about renting the garment now, right? It reminds me of this guy who used to wrestle Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
He used to come in and rent it. Right? But the song was I'm a real American. Right? You know? And he ripped out the jersey and so he pull it out. You know? You go see how much all is real American because all the Edomites talking, right? If again, what Trump doing, Trump selling out the immigration laws and so forth. So when it comes to war, well, they send all the Edomite sons and daughters to the war.
Because the migrants can't do it.
The migrants can't do it.
The migrants already at war.
So that's the next thing to do. You see, these Edomites are talking in pride. Yeah, we're backing them. It's because they know they're not going to send the children out to do that. They're not going. Now they have to go. You know, so he said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but the war was in his heart. Yeah, and that's it is. That is basically war in them. War is in them. Right?
War is always accomplish your mission.
Yeah.
You understand?
He said his words were softer than oil, yet with their drawn swords. Right? Yet with their drawn swords. So that's what it is. Right? And let's bring a quick piece of beer. Because we don't mention something, I think it's 50 or 51. Right?
When men want something that don't belong to them, asking to go and get it, you gotta go and find it. You gotta take it. And you say what they say, war to him that increases that.
Which is not
his. That is just his vibes. Which is got by this.
It's Jeremiah 51 verse 8. It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Call for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. And it has not to be healed America when they fall. That is, I want to bring a scripture that's go to IUIC saying that after the thing they will come back. No, they have no balm to heal them because we just use balm for. It's a heal a wound. They have no balm. When Babylon falls, that is it. You know? Wait, come. You really want to stay here again? These men love wickedness so much, right?
Like
We don't stop here, we don't see that could be wrong. You continent show the
Yeah. Sprinkle.
you have a little
Let's sprinkle here.
sugar in them, man.
Sugar, I need time.
I can see it.
Sugar anytime.
Yeah, they're walking around the place. Happy, proud.
Yeah, they're happy with that.
They're not happy with that.
Yeah.
That's why I could have.
They must say another 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Babylon gave them the ability.
You can imagine another 1,000 years in this place. Let me just think about it, right? Let me just think about it. Nah, you don't think about it, but think about it. These guys teaching us another 100,000 years.
That could be the humanity itself will collapse.
As if these guys here walking so proud.
I can get them 40 years again. They're not human.
40, 5 more years, and these men going to the extent beyond you think.
40 years more we do. 40 years more we do.
We already do.
No, but I mean like.
Right? At least we have divine intervention. We already do.
I mean like in the sense where like right now majority of people around the world right now, they say the DNA not like it used to be. 40 years again? Nah, brethren, everybody tampered.
Gates don't get a license to Lego chemtrails, but
You know,
whether you want it or not, you can.
You will believe that are reptilian people and then in about 40 years you might be like
that would be the new norm.
Yeah.
Like Batman Beyond, you see the tail coming out of your back and things.
And you saw that you saw it have a museum with like people who born with certain things. And majority of them is Edomites. They're born like little tail in the back.
I say Edomites has been born with that. A lot of Edomites have been born with that kind of. That's why the commercial Skyco A caveman could do it. You see, yeah, the might you see, eh?
Yeah, the caveman is the man.
Yeah, because that's them monkeys.
The man is Mount Caucasus. Caves.
You know, funny. I remember I used to watch this guy in the party before coming to the shoot. The guy who died. He always be sending naked pictures of himself to man and thing. He died in a plane crash, boy. This pastor, boy. A real important one.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Miles Monroe.
Miles Monroe. Yeah, my father
You
used
see
to me
name, Miles Monroe. They catch him sending naked pictures to set a man all kind of.
Yes?
Yeah, you can catch sending naked pictures to man.
Yeah, real sugar anytime.
Yeah, he drink. Yeah, monster.
Yeah, lean.
Yeah, Red Bull.
He remember when he was giving like one of his little stories on them now.
Yeah.
When he was in school and the teacher was I young now, but the teacher tell him, "You are like monkeys."
Who's saying this, Miles Monroe?
Yeah, he was saying that he might have
black
black
one.
now. You are like monkeys, you cannot learn. You understand? As the kind of vibration they just want to come around you with already and utilize them like monkeys. We have to teach them how to be.
And you know the crazy thing about it? When you watch a monkey with facial thing, it's like, are you the mic? Watch it, no lips. You know? But again, as your brother said, that is what it is want to, think. Hey, and great gonna be the fall that you saw. Also, Rock says is the thing that's seen the enemy fall is a happy thing to see enemy fall. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
That's the reason. You ever see somebody get hit and the whole world rejoicing? You see, I was literally watching the people in Lebanon, right? Last night, for the past 2 days, Iran hitting them. But they're hitting them as Israel hit them, Iran hit them back. So last night, Iran didn't wait. They hit them, they sent out some at the hypersonic missile, just to show them, shoot, break the thing through the hand. That will make them run this morning. Because now there are no thing now, but make them run. They made the politician and Israel the born.
The exposed.
Yeah. So, but while remember I tell them places around there like Lebanon, the Houthis, them all the places there. Last night when Iran sent out the hypersonic missiles, it was a man with a jazz playing jazz. And a crowd and two couples, a couple getting married. A couple getting married. And he playing the saxophone. And they celebrating because they were oppressed as well.
And people understand. Israel is a problem.
You know, crazy it is. I always say, when you talk about the Revelation 17:18, how they contaminate their nation with the philosophies and doctrine. That's how wicked it is. Even there's heathen nations, hate them, fed up on them. You understand? Fed up.
Beware the beast man.
Beware the beast man.
Know who the beast man.
Yeah, and they show you the sexual liberty, eh?
Yeah.
But it's to show you that in like them Western movies and even in other American movies. When the white man come in the town or the city, you say the devil.
Yeah.
The devil.
Hey, let me get a little history, right? So in Nordic mythology, which is Norse mythology, right? They were trolls come from, right? Now the trolls we know today is not what the trolls was from past times, right? But when trolls was first introduced, it was basically just a man that living in a cave. Our hear the description. Man, fair skin, living in a cave, right? Big nose, hairy, and he loved gold.
Yeah, like leprechaun.
So who it is? Who are you talking about?
Like
so that is even in ancient mythology, it have them there. The characteristics there. No, let me go over the thing. In Japan mythology, it have a evil spirit, or one of the most evil spirits. They call it the Tengu, right? Tengu. I want to look it up. Tengu. And when you look at the characteristics, I have a documentary about it where a Japanese historian was telling him this was based upon a particular people. It wasn't literally a spirit, it became an evil spirit for the things it do. But when it was the description of the Tengu, they put a red mask on him, which represents the skin, but they gave him the big nose. And what does draw the evil spirit to you is money. Who are you talking about? I ain't say no more, because the video might get banned.
I shall carry you up.
Yeah.
I could give you all
I
these
give you all these
things.
things, yeah. You know, the physical representation of Satan.
Nobody like them. Nobody.
They love their scrums. You know, that is why they have a joke in America, like if it show a 5 cents on the ground or whatever it is, a nickel, whatever it is, and a small one had person, he go pick it up. You understand? Nothing no waste to them. You know? And that's why that way when they did earlier, when they gave him money, it's not because, you know?
Not because they give him that bizarre thing. But then
They
at some point they're going to take it back
they make triple of what they're giving you, like 10%, like 10-fold of what they're giving you. You understand? That come like the record deals they're giving it. They'll give you $1 million freely. But they so love money, that million had to be, that million go to that 100 million for them.
I remember, I think it's Michael Jackson, he said in one of the interviews, he said he generated over $1 billion for Sony. Sony Records, he generated over $1 billion for them. I sure they get majority of the money. Yeah, and he has so much money he can buy this back.
Buy Sony after.
Buy half, because he own half of Sony and that when the X amount. Yeah, he was going on. He was leaving Sony going on half right and the X amount after.
And take everything.
Huh?
And take everything.
Yeah, and take it back, yeah. It's a borrow.
Yeah.
They know it's a borrow.
Yeah. Say, right. Say verse 18, right? I read over 18 before I go to 19. He said, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils.
What?
Of evils.
Again, what we see in here, what we see in that part of the world, the next
Great
part in
evil,
Russia and Ukraine, China and Taiwan, those things are evil. Although, you know what's crazy about it? Glad that script come on.
It's not the enjoyable evil.
Yeah, I'm glad it's come on. Because Israel hit a refinery in Iran, they're attacking the main resources, right? But it's so dotish. It's that the refinery they hit, it supplies 60% of the world with oil. What going to happen to oil in the coming weeks? What going to happen to energy?
Yeah, they say oil price skyrocket due to the war in the Middle East.
So, the beginning of what? Evils, right?
So they know what one on gas, one
time.
on
And you're
they
talking
know
about
what
earlier.
one follow gas. You know what does follow?
Yeah.
Gas, right?
That
Food
statement
is
comes
what
here,
right
the things
after.
that you just get from oil. When you use oil and break it down and do production,
It's everything that has plastic,
Everything.
anything that turn into
paper bags and all.
sauce, certain what? Something like jelly-like substances, all eyes, oil, everything like that is oil. Them little rubbers for whatever you need for your tools or all eyes oil. All eyes oil. Rubber band is oil.
WD-40.
Oil. You think?
Car parts,
So when
you
that
know.
is, food does follow, and after food, everything else is just about everything else. Those rates, once food is, and food does only follow fuel. Once fuel work, food does go up. But the thing is, everything else does drop, except food.
Yeah, except, yeah.
Food does remain.
And the thing like, it's so crazy with oil and thing, right? Like, you just fear more when oil dropping than when it raising. There's a crazy thing, like when oil drop, it's put you more in fear because what caused the oil to drop? What
Why
caused
it no longer in demand?
Yeah, why no longer in demand? Or when it drop, you see, even when it drop, it means it going to raise, money wise. So it's like a red kind of thing too, man. Yo, that what you say, times are going to be what? Evil, right? Evil, right? Because remember with oil, like things like car, you remember the recession? We're shaking the corner, how we here. Me young. But when we went through the recession, I remember that point in time in Trinidad, diesel and thing. Men could not get diesel because it was packed down.
Because people was smuggling
Smuggling,
diesel,
yeah, you remember?
Thing on them boat and them
Yeah,
see
lots,
the back
yeah.
of them van, they had
Yeah.
the big thing with
The
the
big
iron,
thing.
with the bars, the bottle inside like
was
the
one
cage.
he had this
You remember
together.
them time? I remember my mother, we have one in them bottle, like, I remember them
That was
time.
some men and everybody with the container in the yard
Yeah.
because they had us to take it. Yeah, they had us to take
Yeah,
it.
them selling
Yeah.
diesel and thing like
Bucket,
bucket,
yeah,
and
yeah.
thing and thing.
Oh, petrol,
Yeah.
all these things
Them
become.
time when they could like get $5 gas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the place was such a chaotic state. Like when you go by a gas station, it's like the line,
okay,
but
KFC
it's
after
no
a
joke.
concert.
No joke. Yeah.
They park up there for a good
Good
hour,
while. It had some man used to walk to Arima, I tell you, because it don't make sense here. You're even jumping in a car.
Yeah. Right? So it say, what shall I do when these evils shall come?
Right? So go ahead.
Right? He say,
They say,
behold,
what shall we do when the evil shall come?
Yeah, we
know what we going to do. Pray. Rehearse the righteous act and let the Lord do the
Act.
rest.
We're going to do, that one I'm not going to say. We're just going to do what we're doing now.
Yeah,
but just we
we
might
don't
just
do
do it
this.
greater.
You
You know?
we might need preaching
Yeah,
up in our
yeah,
videos because
yeah.
we know they go and censor the
Censor
internet
it,
and
yeah.
ban this because in the UK they already ban it. They
But-
already have laws in place for street preachers.
Right now, with what going on, expect them to come out there and tell it, don't ban, don't preach. Because one of the things we can get is against these small acts. And right now, what's going on with them? You know? So eventually go come to that. They'll tell you here what's going on, don't do that.
So in other words, keep up the good work. You understand? In other words, keep up the good work. That's what we had to do. Anyway, with that, we have to give our praises and glory to
Our Bashem Shai Bashem Kakodash.
the Benansi apostles and the great news to know well. Peace and blessings to the Ackman who pushes to the four corners of the earth. Right, with that we say, Shalom.
Shalom.